Sometimes when I do these videos, I think it's gonna be really easy because it's just an illustration, but I was completely wrong this time. So I am back with drawing yet another Sims 4 screenshot because I need to draw something goofy. The last time I drew a Sims 4 screenshot, I had a couple of choices that I wanted to draw. This screenshot here was my second choice, so I decided to draw it today. But of course, I was not prepared for the challenge it was about to give me. I thought this would be simple enough until I started drawing it. It has an actually detailed background because this is in one of the muses in that friend group, Matthew's apartment. This screenshot is from the same save file as the last screenshot is from. I like to rotate households in that because sometimes I'm just feeling one of me or Joey's other muses that day. This is going to be a very short video, so I probably can't waste too much time yapping about nonsense. I'll at least give context for this screenshot so you guys know why I took it. So Matthew was holding a Winterfest party, or like a friend hangout at his place. Everything was all going good, but then for some reason, Youngsing got very depressed and just went up to Matthew's bed and started crying. And I thought that was hilarious, because Youngsing rarely cries. He's not an emotional person like Jihoon is. But what made it funnier to me was that Domin, one of Joey's other muses, was sitting right there, probably playing video games or something a few feet away while Youngsing is crying in the club. So I had to take the screenshot because it was so goofy. Most of my Sims 4 screenshots are goofy, but I have a few generally picturesque screenshots. I'm not gonna deny that I'm terrible at perspective. I'll have to work on that eventually, and I think that's what made this really difficult as well. Not only was the background detailed, but I'd argue that the background is actually the main focus of this picture because of Youngsing crying in Matthew's bed in the back. Now, you guys wouldn't know it was Youngsing crying unless I said something, but who cares? As long as I know, that's enough. I don't think this is my best redraw. And before anyone says that I've only done 2 Sims 4 screenshot redraws, nope, this is actually my 4th one. I did 2 Sims 4 screenshot redraws before I decided to be active on this channel again. Anyways, at the very least, this did in fact challenge me to attempt some perspective. In most of my drawings, the character is the main focus and the background is just there. I didn't have to worry about how things looked when they're placed in various places in the background. Plus, I could blur out the background if I hated it that much. Not here. I can't blur out the background in this instance. If I do more Sims 4 screenshot redraws, I won't blur out the background unless the background is already blurred. Even though this isn't my best redraw, I will say that I like the colors in this. I guess I can thank myself for making Matthew's apartment super colorful. I gave him an orange and blue color scheme because I just thought that fits his personality. If there's one thing I love doing in The Sims 4, it's building apartments. Not as much as making Sims though. With apartments, you just worry about interior design, which is nice. It stresses me out way less than building a traditional house. And in case anyone is wondering, I built all of my houses for the muses in that save file because I think the basic EA houses don't fit the characters' personalities and what I imagine they'd live in. Of course, since I usually like to add a lot of detail to a couple of builds sometimes, it means that drawing those specific screenshots, if I ever do it, will be painful. But it'll be worth it, I guess. It would force me to work on drawing backgrounds, which is super important in my art journey. You can see me working on the background in this part of the video now. In my sketch, I was freehanding things, so that's why it looks wonky. But for the line art, we can't have that. I had to use the line tool to draw in all of the straight edges because I know it'll look off if I try to do it by hand. I also dislike the ruler tool in Clip Studio Paint because it's just finicky for me. I use it sometimes on smaller things, but that's about it. I think you guys can see that the line art isn't matching up with my scuffed sketch at all. It just shows why I have to use the line tool because otherwise, we'd get curved lines on things that are supposed to be straight. It makes the background look slightly better, but some parts are still wonky. I was so close to just tracing the background from my screenshot, but I decided not to. I can't allow myself to trace for something like this because then I feel like I'd never be able to observe and replicate things, and that's, of course, important to me. Now, I'd say shading went by super quick for this drawing because there was nothing overly complicated. As long as I did the flat colors right, then everything was all good for me. So at the very least, things were easy for me at the end, which I can appreciate after the hardship this background gave me. And of course, since this was happening in an indoor place, I didn't have to worry about complex rendering either, which is good. I could just get away with doing simple rendering and call it a day. So even if I had my moments where I wanted to give up on this drawing, I didn't let that stop me from completing it. I usually finish the drawings I start, but the urge to quit a piece is always there in the back of my mind. Nothing wrong with dropping a piece though, but I guess I'm a bit of a completionist, on top of being somewhat a perfectionist. Like, yikes, that's a combo. Anyways, I think we're nearing the end of the speed paint, so let me show you guys the final screenshot. Here is how the final screenshot turned out. It was still a bit fun to draw, even if it cost me my soul. Mistakes were made, but I guess at some point, you have to move on. Here is the screenshot compared to the original. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but I tried. Anyways, thank you so much for watching until the end. If you want to see more from me, hit the like and subscribe button. I hope I'll see everyone in the next one.